Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started today is going to be Tuesday, February 7th. We're breaking out the end of the day. The State of the Union. We'll talk about that and how it could impact the markets. Um, and we're going to talk about a couple of other new things that happen in the financial markets, news wise, that could affect price action in the coming weeks. So make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end. Getting started. The total market cap for all cryptocurrencies is $1,085,000,000,000. This is a 1.79% increase on the day. Bitcoin did assert its dominance over 23,000, which I assumed it would. Currently trading at $23,198. Ethereum is at $1,674, and XRP is just above 40 cents at 40.18 cents. Getting into our biggest gainers on the day, Sandbox is going to be the biggest gainer at 28.9%, GRT at 27.2%, Chills at 18.7%. HBAR did have a nice run up. This is one of my favorite tokens. Obviously, in my top probably three. 8.5% in gains on the day. We'll talk about why in just a little bit. Getting started with the State of the Union, though, if you guys have not watched the State of the Union yet, I would highly recommend you guys do it. There was, a lot of interesting information that came out, a lot of disinformation that came out. But in my opinion, overall, it was a bad look on both sides. One, the disinformation from the left, but then on the right too, the mockery, the boos, the chants in the audience. And in my opinion, this is a really bad look because this State of the Union is nationally televised, and also probably worldwide televised. Majority of individuals probably in other nations probably look at this because a lot of these nations rely on the US dollar for their currency, and basically we're just making a mockery out of our country. So what makes anyone want to use our US dollars later on? So this will be bad in a sense in the long run for these next 2 years, I guess you could say, if this stuff just keeps on continuing until the next election. But there was a lot of news and information that got taken. Um, One about the jobs reports and unemployment, that 500,000 new jobs. If you guys watched a couple of my videos prior, 500,000 new jobs were in January. Unemployment reached a low of like 3.4%. This is the lowest it's been in 50 years. And Biden's going out and praising what he's doing. But in my opinion, it's, kind of disinformation because he doesn't talk about how we're still getting out of a COVID-19 pandemic where a lot of these individuals were, not in work anymore. And now they're finally going back to work. So that's the new jobs added. They're not really new. People were just laid off from their jobs. They weren't receiving those extra $600 a week in bonus checks by the federal government. Of course, they weren't going to go back to work until those checks finally ran out. But they talked about how oil, they're going to try to figure out legislation on oil companies because he says that, Biden came out and said that the, U.S. will still rely on oil for at least the next 10 years. So these oil companies can't keep padding their profit books, how the rich need to pay their fair share in taxes. And, in this video right here, he talks about how some Republicans, not all Republicans, but some want to make the Medicare and Medicaid basically sunset, which means go away. And this is where a lot of boos and stuff happened. And in my opinion, it was a bad look overall for Republicans. Shouldn't be doing that. Obviously, it's not true. He might be speaking for one or two who are not even in the Senate or even in the House of Representatives, because there are people on the Republican side or even the Democratic side who don't like Medicare, don't like Medicaid, or don't like a lot of the stuff. And if you just, generalize overall, it's just going to make people, basically butt heads. But, maybe that's what their agenda is. But they talked about a lot of different aspects of the economy. Nothing was really like said that was terribly bad. In my opinion, Biden came out and touted basically how well, the government's doing and how they're going to figure out the financial aspects. So this is what was part of the positive gain. A lot of people had confidence in the State of the Union address if Biden came out and said, guys, we're up shit's creek without a paddle. Obviously, that was going to tank the market. That didn't happen. So I do see an upside in the next week or so. Again, no financial advice, invest at your guys' own risk. But again, I highly encourage you guys to watch the entire video. You guys could probably find this on YouTube. I'll look and I'll actually find it and I'll post that. It'll be the first post in the comments, the first link. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, we talked about it yesterday that Bank of America's CEO says the company is preparing for a potential U.S. debt default. Minneapolis Fed officials say that a U.S. debt default would be catastrophic. So, in my opinion, I definitely agree. If we default on our debt, obviously we're going to have no money to pay for things. Um, and if that happens, it's going to devalue the US dollar drastically. Binance to donate $100 in BNB to each user affected by the 7.8 magnitude earthquake in Turkey. Obviously, these individuals are severely impacted, and a lot of them aren't going to have, internet access for a while or even power. In my opinion, I'm happy that he's, CZ, when I say he is the CEO of CZ of Binance, basically probably said, hey, we can do this. It'll put our, company in the limelight. Obviously, we're going to be, giving away this money. But then when they donate it, basically what they're saying is we're just going to use this as a tax write off. So it's a double-edged sword. It's the same thing with uh, who was it? Mr. Beast. If you guys watched a couple of my videos or one of my videos about a week or 2 weeks ago, talked about how Mr. Beast donated some money to get some 1,000 people to be able to see again. It's kind of the same concept. They're doing it for a good cause, but they always have whatever agenda they have behind it. But overall, I'm still happy these individuals are able to get that $100. We'll see if it actually goes through. I'm hoping that Binance and CZ are actually really thinking about that. This one, Bank of England launches digital pound CBDC, which is a central bank digital currency project. And in my opinion, as these super big countries that operate probably trillions of dollars every single year, multi-trillions of dollars every single year. To get into cryptocurrency projects, this is only positive news. There's a report that they're going to limit the amount of money, so instead of like 20,000, you're only allowed to have $10,000 worth of cryptocurrency. And I don't know how I feel about that, but we got to start somewhere, and regulations are key. So, good on the Bank of England for figuring this out. I'm gonna say, I know a lot of people might, who are in the crypto industry might, think this is a bad thing, but the Super Bowl bans cryptocurrency television commercials, and I 100% agree with this. Obviously, these companies use the revenue or whatever money us as consumers give them for their trading fees to probably, or investor money to come out with TV commercials and ads. But the crypto industries have a lot of negative impacts, and then having another ad posted is just going to be another bad look. We still have to figure out which exchanges we can trust. In my opinion, this is personal for me. Binance is number one, Coinbase is number two, and Uphold is number three. There are other exchanges that I have used and will still continue to use, but those are the three that I enjoy the most. I don't keep any of my money on exchanges. I have them all on a Ledger wallet, which is a cold storage wallet. If I were you guys, I would go to ledger.com. If you guys, have anywhere over like $200 to $500 on an exchange, just in case like an exchange goes down like FTX, you guys are able to keep your guys' money safe and secure. There's a saying, not your keys, not your crypto. Just in, Jim Cramer says it is a bull market. If you guys have been watching my channel, Jim Cramer comes out one week, it's a bear market. Next week, it's a bull market. Next week, bear market. We're going into a recession, and now he's coming out again. We're going into a bull market. I don't listen to anything this guy says. If you guys do, congratulations. He comes from old money and has a different way of doing things. And in my opinion, it's not wrong, but obviously, he's made a bunch of money, so I, can't fault him for that. He's intelligent, but if you guys are into the crypto industry, he has no clue what crypto is. So investigate your guys' own risk again. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says he expects the 2023 to be a year of significant decline in inflation. Inflation numbers are still really high. Hopefully, we can decrease the interest rates and decrease inflation. Mainly, I would like to buy a house sometime this year, and interest rates are super, super expensive. Obviously, he plays a major role in this, and basically bringing down the economy wasn't a really good thing with the COVID-19 pandemic. So hopefully they can figure this out and make house prices more affordable, especially the interest rates. Microsoft integrates Chat GPT into Bing search engine, so this is just another nice thing to do. President Biden says he created 12 million new jobs into 2 years, more than any president in history. And again, this is where I was talking about these individuals were working and now they can finally just go back to work. So this is just a BS statement. Bank of England proposes the 10,000 to 20,000 holding limit per person for digital pounds, which is CBDCs. Like I said, I think this is a good thing. Obviously, people can't have all of their money tied up into one asset class. I would highly encourage you guys to diversify your assets, but do what you guys with your guys' own investments. But if you guys like crypto, awesome, pick a few coins. If you like crypto and stocks, invest in both. If you like crypto, stocks, gold, silver, and then just, cash is king, cold hard cash, put where your guys' money at, where you guys feel it's most safe and secure, and, just go from there. So, 10,000 to 20,000, that's a lot of money for individuals, more than enough for most average investors, like us. So, I'm not, against this, until obviously they figure out how safe and secure cryptocurrency actually is. But I think it is very secure. Eleanor Charette says new at Sam Bankman-Fried and his lawyers have filed an appeal to Judge Kaplan's order to reveal the identities of two unidentified people who helped secure his bail package. So basically with this, Sam Bankman-Fried and his attorneys are appealing, saying that they do not want the identities of the two individuals who posted his bail to be released. And, in my opinion, I'm going to give Eleanor a follow. Thank you for the great news. I'll be posting everything in the comments as well. But in my opinion, this is a really, bad look for Sam Bankman-Fried. There's so much going on. And, if it's supposed to be public, which it was already supposed to be ruled, and it was ruled on, this needs to just happen. Jeremy Hogan says, an interlocutory appeal. Now I'm curious. So, he's probably not going to make a video on this, just one, document. But hopefully, as this case keeps on going, as it gets further along, instead of, Jeremy Hogan did the Ripple versus the SEC, all those updates. Hopefully he does the exact same thing with the Sam Bankman-Fried case. Keep the average investor knowing what's going on in cases that are super complex that the average person like myself can't completely grasp by just reading documents. And he does it in a fun, entertaining way. John Deaton came out and replied to this guy, Nick Carter. He says, I don't want to alarm, but since the turn of the year, a new Operation Choke Point type operation began targeting the crypto space in the US. It is all well coordinated effort to marginalize the industry and cut off its connectivity to the banking system and its workings. We'll read through the rest of this really quick. The working piece with a summary of what's going on and what's going on coming soon. Tether and offshores, havens slash more pro crypto jurisdictions will be winners here. US will consider be a loser. It's a coordinated pattern activity between the Fed regulations, regions banks, and other bank regulatories and the White House, all designed to stiffen the crypto space and starve it of the banking system. And John Deaton commented 100% true. And I agree with this. The US is falling really behind in um, regulations for crypto and advancements in technology. Other countries are totally 100% on board because they realize how much money they can actually save and how fast and actually secure and not really so, what's the proper term? Not really so. I can't even think of it. It's where basically you can't hide your identity because it's all on an online ledger. That if you really wanted to view things, you could. And, we'll talk about it right here because the IRS has introduced a new tip reporting program being targeted at the service industry. Its goal is to ensure service workers properly report how much income they receive in tips per year. Looks like those 87,000 new IRS agents aren't just going after the rich anymore. And basically House Republicans proposed and got rid of this. um, I still think it has to get further voted on, but the Democrats came out and said, hey, we're only going after the rich, we're only going after the super elite. And then what do? They started targeting the middle class, and now they're starting to target service workers because a lot of their money and income is tied up in tips. If I get tipped in cash, if I was a service worker, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm a high school teacher. But if I was a service worker and I had some cash, that I got tipped, obviously the majority of people just going to stick that right in their pocket. They're not going to report how much money, like, hey, you got a $3 tip in cash. Oh yeah, I'm not going to go to my you know manager and say, hey, I got $3 in tips, write that down for my taxes. It's just not going to happen. um I will get into this news really quick right here. When we talked about HBAR breaking, according to Mason versus Luce, Dell has just joined the HBAR governing council. HBAR prices spiked accordingly, and it did, like we showed, it was up 8%. He ends up posting another thing right here that shows, the Hedera is governed by the world's leading organizations. You have a bunch of people. I'll go after the big ones right here. So you have HBAR as the whole. You have Google Drive right there. You got Dell, T-Mobile, IBM right here. Data. What are some of these other ones? UCL. You have a bunch of these companies that are on here. I believe Tesla is a part of this. One of their logos is probably on here also. They have a huge governing council. They're waiting to fill this up. HBAR, in my opinion, again, no financial advice, is here to stay for a while. He also posted, damn, Algo Foundation CEO with Hillary Clinton in the Clinton Foundation event. She made the announcement at the event for the new Algorand partnership with Siwa. And if we go to Algorand, it's down here in like the 30s. Algorand right here is up 6.13% on the day, and HBAR is up 8.7%. So this is probably why that spiked up, is because a lot of people like Hillary Clinton or the Clinton Foundation, because there's a lot of dark secret money that's in those organizations. The last bit that we're going to talk about this week in crypto. Um, According to James Filan, he posted this because Ron Hammond came up with this. We'll talk about it first, and I'm not going to go over everyone that's in this, but he comes out and says, this week in crypto in Congress, crypto continues to be a priority this year. Last Congress, we had the FinTech Task Force and select staffers solely dedicated to the crypto policy. This year, the task force has been upgraded to a subcommittee. Let's meet the new players in crypto. First, it is most important to distinguish a task force versus a subcommittee. A task force can't move legislation, but it held several hearings on a variety of crypto topics. Now, the digital assets is a subcommittee. It can host hearings and move legislation. This will be key in 2023. And I totally agree with this. To get anywhere, we need to be able to move legislation. So having this subcommittee is going to be really good. Representative French Hill is going to be in this. If you guys want to know more about them, I'm going to end up having this link posted in the comments so you guys can. Rep Stephen Lynch and Rep Chai Garcia, Majority Whip Warren Davidson, Josh G, Rep Richie, Brett Sherman, and Al Green, Rep Timmons and Brian Steele, Representative Mike Floyd, Donald Press, and finally, these members include Aaron Houchin and Willie Nickel. Um, Congress continues to map out the agenda for the next 2 years, it is reassuring to know that the new digital assets subcommittee has a deep bench knowledge of the members on crypto. It wasn't too long ago you could count the members who knew crypto on one hand. So, more people are understanding what crypto is and how it's going to impact the financial markets in the coming future. In my opinion, at least by 2025, we're going to have some sort of legislation rolling out. So we're still early on in the game. Hopefully, it turns out for the better. I'm in it for the long run. I'll have crypto till the day I die, and I'm going to pass the cryptocurrencies that I currently have down to my kids. And I hope you guys do the same. If you guys can't invest with the big dogs, stay on the porch. Have a good one.